Hey, this is Nathalie Kalbach, and I'm here with my dear friend Sarah Matthews. I'm super excited to have Sarah for Creative Jumpstart 2021. I love Sarah. She is a wonderful artist. She is an amazing printmaker. Her prints and her stamp carving and her books, handmade books, are out of this world. They're so cool. And I can say that because I actually have one for a project that we two are doing in the background on my table. And a friend of mine was here helping me just recently, and I told that Sarah, and she was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing book that you made. And I turned around and I was like, that's not mine. But it wasn't like, it was just like, it was funny. And it's so cool. So you are a wonderful artist. You are in Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland.
Whew, I just got the curve. Hey, Sarah, how are you?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit more about you.
Well, like you said, I am a bookbinder and printmaker. I've been doing it full time since 2016. And lately I've been teaching classes on Zoom, which is a new venture because I'm so used to being hands-on as a teacher. And so to be able to do it virtually is weird. But then I've had people in my classes that are from California, or I have a class next week where people are going to be coming from Hawaii. So it's just like, I would never had the opportunity to teach someone in those far places if this didn't happen. So yeah.
That's pretty cool. And I know we talked off camera another time, like a couple of weeks ago, about that. But I think people might find that interesting because you do not only printmaking with, carving stamps, but you also usually use, or oftentimes use, a printing press. So right now you can't, because you can't be teaching at the center where you usually are teaching. How have you adjust your classes for the center in terms of not being able to use a big printing press because people also don't have access to it?
So I've been printing things by hand. So I've been exploring different avenues. So like I used to carve Cincher. Cincher is like a PVC plastic. That's, even my thesis from art school, that's what I printed my final project with. It's just with that, and I used an etching press. And being at home without access to those things, I've had to figure out something to do. Because, as an artist, we have to do something, right? If we feel like we don't do anything, we feel like we're not productive. So I ordered some soft cut from Dick Blick and started carving away. And that was, I hadn't carved stamps ever. I did woodcut, I did letterpress, I did all the other types of printmaking, etching, but I had never carved soft cut before. Soft cut is this, do I even have a piece? Yeah. Is this gray stuff that's like very flexible? And so the final product, would look something like this. This is a flower. You know what I mean? So, but to have that time while my kids are in school, or even, when my husband's home, I would sit here at this, because actually the funny thing is my studio is downstairs in the basement. So what my husband did was he got me this table here so I can do my work here in the living room, so that way the kids can do what they need to do. So yes, eventually all this stuff will be moved downstairs to my secret cave. Well, no one is allowed. Right? And but for right now, we're working with what we have. And so I literally take my hand and I push, with this part of my fist, and I print. Loads of prints.
Yeah, if you want to have a taste of what she's doing, and it's really, really, I just watched one of your Friday videos on YouTube, and they are always like, I love the music, I love how you show it, and it's like super, like, funky, relaxing. You should definitely subscribe to Sarah's, or check it out, Sarah's YouTube channel, where she posts each Friday a short video where she shows her printing process with some of her beautiful hand-carved stems. So check it out. We will talk about the links later where you can find them. Also, so Sarah, I mean, that jumpsuit, holy cow. So she posted on her Instagram account a couple of weeks ago this like amazing jumpsuit, which was made with fabric that was done with her personal carved stems. And it's just like, you have to check it out. Go to her Instagram account. It's like so cool. And I love you. You're smiling. You're happy. And the jumpsuit is so cool. Well, first of all, did you sew that yourself?
Yes, I did sew it myself. Yes. So, okay, it's a long story. So I make my own stamps, and I've had people reach out to me to like, will you like make stamps and then put them on your Etsy page and sell them? And so then my eyes kind of like glaze over, like, I'm here for the printing. I'm not really here for the carving, Right? So then, I started doing the art filming. So I would send my designs to art companies. The art companies would make them and they sell them, and I get residual from that. Amazing. And then my friends were like, well, your stuff would be good on fabric. You should print on fabric. And then my eyes glaze over, and I'm like, yards of fabric, just printing yards of fabric? No. So then I sent my designs to Spoonflower. And then, I had them, they send you the swatches and you go through and decide, what size to do them. And then I resized them, and then I launched them on Spoonflower. Then I was like, you know what, let me order some yards for myself, right? And so I had, like, as soon as it arrived, because you're supposed to wash it before you use it, I put it in the washer, and it was sitting up here like a pile. Like, when you when you do a laundry and it's like a pile of laundry, that's what it looked like, sitting right here. And I would see it every day. And then I was like, you know what? I went downstairs to my secret cave and found a pattern, just grabbed one that could fit the number of yardage that I had available. And I was like, oh, it's a jumpsuit. All right, well, I don't have, because the pants take up a lot of fabric, especially because it's wide leg. So I was like, oh no, I won't have enough to like make the top. So then I use the other fabric for the top.
It's so beautiful.
And it's a picture of so I did that print, like the print says I Am Me. It's a 2 feet by 4 feet print that I did on wood. And so I scanned it into Photoshop, and then I sent it to Spoonflower and made a fabric out of it. Now, I don't feel comfortable like selling that.
No, of course.
But I printed it, had it sent to me for myself. And let me tell you, as soon as I walked into church, as I wore it to church, and my sister was like, I want one. She said, no, I want that.
And you're like, that's me.
That's why I said I am me. Okay, it's me. But I might surprise her. Hopefully, she'll see this anyway. I might surprise her with her face on it. We'll know. Who knows? But the world is, you don't think you could do stuff like that, because I wasn't intending on, sending my designs to Spoonflower, but here we are, because I just don't feel like I want to print yards of fabric for the rest of my life.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like, I think your prints are perfect for, I wish I could sew better, but I do know people who can. So I think it's amazing. Like, if you know someone who can make, whatever, a dress, a skirt, I can see it on skirt, on pillow cases. I think your designs are amazing. But that jumpsuit, girl, is the best.
Well, it's a full circle moment, because my mother is a seamstress, and so when I was a kid, I used to make clothes for my dolls and my Barbie dolls, and she showed me how to sew on the sewing machine, also by hand, and yeah, and then we used to like put together like dolls and quilts for craft bazaars every so often. So we would like work towards making those things for like a Christmas, bazaar. And so yeah, I've always been making things since I can remember. And so yeah, so when I showed up at church and my mother saw me, she was like, "Did you make that?"
Aww.
Yes, ma'am. Like, I have a fraction of your talent, mommy.
Oh, was she proud?
She was so proud.
Yeah. That is so cool. Did your daughters then see it, and do you teach? Are they interested in learning some of your skills, or does that make them, when they see like your prints or your jumpsuit, are they like, I want to learn that too?
Yeah, so my oldest, she draws. So actually, she's studying to be an animator. And so she's been drawing since I can remember. She's got loads of journals full of all her drawings. She's really into anime. My second daughter, she makes books.
Wow.
Handmade cards. So, and then the third one, she's a dancer.
We can all be artists, visual artists, or bookbinders.
Yeah, she's a dancer. And then the fourth one, she loves stamping. So she just asked me today, before this thing, "Mommy, I want to paint." I was like, "After the interview, you can paint."
That's so cute. She's 4 years old, guys, so she already is on. She's gonna be famous. We never know.
Yeah.
So, Sarah, I really love how you layer, especially like these kind of translucent or transparent colors in your prints, and then oftentimes because they are transparent, and when you layer them, you do something that's called visual mixing, right? So, and that results in new colors. So, do you always know, I mean, we know color theory, but do you always know what happens or what will happen when you layer so many colors, or are there some happy accidents and sometimes maybe less desirable results there too? Or do you really know everything you do with those colors?
No, I think it's more like a trial and error, like being a scientist. Like, I remember when I first started doing the layering thing. Oh my gosh, how long ago was that? That was like 2014. I was doing the layering thing. And I remember going to the critique and the students and the teacher, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, this is only layer 2, so I'm gonna add like three or more layers to it." And we'll be like, "No, it looks fine just the way it is." And I'm like, "No, I need to add more layers. I want to see what happens."
Did you not hear me?
Like, yeah, 2 layers is fine, but no, I need more. So like, I like to push it. I like to push the boundary of where it could be, because people say, "Oh, that's enough." I'm like, "No, I think I can do one more and see what happens." And if it never, honestly, it's never turned out wrong.
That's
It
awesome.
looks great.
Wow.
Yeah. So and then the one thing I did recently is I took my like regular prints that I've already printed, and then I scanned them into Photoshop, printed them on my printer, and then I printed on top of it.
Yay, wait. I can top it one more.
So that way now I have a way to like test it out.
Yeah.
By printing it on the printer to see what it would look like if I did it,
That is so cool. I love that. So do you, we talked about it in a different form, and I actually we had so many calls, like just the two of us, so I don't think we talked about it when we were talking in one of the one interview that we did a while ago with our participation in Pass the Brush, which was done or organized by Rachel Bellamy and we talked, whatever, I don't know. But you told me about your favorite artist who is a printmaker.
Yes.
Kennedy Jr. What's his first name again? Sorry.
Amos. Kennedy Jr., yes.
Right, and he is fantastic. You should check him out. But he does a lot of layering too. And his statement that we were talking about at one point was that there's no art that's not political. And we talked about that. But besides that, which I think we both kind of agreed on that's true. And if, you can think about that. We're so mean. We're like, you can think about that. Like really think of a story when you're making your printmaking or your books, or is it more for you about like the story that someone else sees in it, or both?
I'd say both. I always like try to put a hidden message in what I'm making, and I, kind of hang around and try to see what people get out of it. So like sometimes I will put a title like in there that will get you to think. So like I did this boat print, and it's going to be in a show, and so it just says vote, 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 like all like it looks like it's this. This is a picture, but it's a bigger print, and that's all the print says. But I put it in a mirrored frame, and then the title is called "Like Your Life Depended on It." So when you're looking at the piece, you see yourself in it.
That's cool. That's smart. I love that. Tell us about the show, Sarah.
Oh yeah, it's at the Pyramid Atlantic in Hyattsville, Maryland, and I believe it starts on September 26th. And so all of the prints are about the election year. So everyone is, if you're a member, it's called the member mashup. If you're a member, you submit your work, and then it has to be about the election year. That's all it says. It doesn't matter what the medium is. You just submit it, and then you're going to have a show. I mean, of course, it's social distancing and everything, and then they're also doing it so that way you can see it online. Cool. So you can view it as well. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah.
That is very cool. So by the time, guys, you're seeing this interview, which is in December, we are recording that in the middle of September. Maybe there is a link or something, or Sarah might have posted about it. So check it out if you can find it. I definitely will, of course, because I'm spoiled and I'm doing the interview now. So I will check it out while it's going on. So Sarah, speaking of story for Creative Jumpstart 21, which is our 10th anniversary, I so I always send this theme to our artists, and I say, here's the theme. Here's a word, free sentences, not too much to influence you too much, because you should get your own jumpstart. And then you make a 10-minute video. Of course, we know it takes way longer to make a 10-minute video than 10 minutes. That's a different problem. But so this year I chose Storyteller, or for 21 I chose Storyteller, because I believe that stories are our connective tissue, and that's how we learn empathy, how we understand each other, how we make connections, as connective tissue says already, right? So, and I think it's very, very important in these times, or always, to listen to the stories of other people, and maybe relate to those stories. That's how we get together. So do you already have an idea for what you're going to do with that jumpstart for yourself for the video? You still have time deadline-wise, but is there something percolating or a festered idea of what you're going to show us?
Yes, like I know it's going to be, block printing and bookmaking. I'm not sure what words I'm going to carve, but I'm going to carve a new stamp for this thing.
Yay.
So, but yeah, So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not sure if it's going to be like small or like a four. My go-to right now is a 4x4 size because I feel like it's easier to like this size. This 4x4 size seems to be like my go-to nowadays because I can put something rather large. But maybe for the class, I will do something a little bit smaller so that way it can be visually seen on the screen. And maybe I'll figure out something where they can translate it to a larger thing. Because the one thing I did recently, let me show you this. So I did a shibori indigo dyeing class, right? And so for this, so what I taught them is to put like a wooden ball inside and wrap it with rubber band, and that creates that resist. But I loved how this looked so much that I made a stamp.
That's so cool.
So, it's gonna be something like that, like taking something from your everyday life that you love to see, and then making a stamp out of it. Because I don't know, because I would walk past that, fabric because it's lying here in a pile, and I'm like, oh, I really like that. Oh my god, it feels so good.
Aww.
And then do I even have it here? Yeah. See, that's why I need to do a better job with organizing my stamps because they're like, oh, here it is. Here it is, yeah. So what I did was I just turned it in different directions to make those 3 different colors. And so, but yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. This sounds awesome. That is such a great idea too. So, we can't wait. And I will be the first one to see it.
Yeah.
So for these interviews, what I asked every one of you to have like a kind of red thread through all the interviews was if you could gather something that you love to have around while you're creating, and if you can show it to us, and if you have a story for us about it.
Okay. So all my life, my favorite colors were purple and pink, like fuchsia pink, like really, really vibrant pink. And all of a sudden, I fell in love with this like golden yellow mustardy color. So it's pretty much everywhere. Like my front door is this color. Like my planter is this color. Like, and then I ordered these. Now they're salt and pepper shakers. It's an elephant.
I love those. Those are so cute. Oh, this is super cute.
They just sit right here. They just sit right here and look at me. I love them. I ordered them on Etsy. I know somebody probably hand like pottery, because you can tell that it's like.
Can you show them in the middle? Sorry, Sarah. In the middle, like if you put them in front of you. Yes. Aww.
Look at the little tail.
I know.
They sit right there and look at me.
Was that like a coincidence that you found them?
No, because I'm when I'm on Etsy, I am a Target shopper. I went
Really?
and said yellow elephant.
No, you did not.
Absolutely. I knew exactly what I wanted. I wanted yellow elephant, and so I found
It
them.
even occurred to me. But you did not know that they were salt. Like you weren't looking for salt and pepper shakers. You were looking for yellow elephants, right?
Correct. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is so cool.
Well, specifically to put on my shelf here, but not to sit at my table. But when I got them, I was like, you must sit right here. Make me an offer you can't refuse. said the line right, but you know where it's
Yeah,
from.
now I know what you mean.
Can you imagine me being teaching class with this thing and do like this? Like,
show it to me.
Bye. Get out of here with that.
These would make me happy too. Definitely.
Yeah.
But she earlier threatened me. Well, kind of like she was saying, I come by someday and visit you, knock on your door, and I was like, oh, I can't wait for it. And then she's like, well, to get the cabinet, your letterpress cabinet.
Yeah, it's right back there.
So I was like, I don't know about that, but maybe if you bring in exchange your yellow elephants.
No.
Aha! I gotcha.
Or, but since there's two of them, we could do when you have best friends forever, one person has a half of the heart, and one person has the half. So I'm like, oh, you can have one, but you can't have both.
So true.
I need one in my eyesight, because it makes me happy when I see it,
So, okay, I wasn't going to ask you that question, but I have to know because I have a connection to elephants in my family history because so there's several things, but like my uncle, actually, he worked in the zoo in Wuppertal in Germany, and he was a zookeeper at the elephant house. So whenever we would visit them, I would be in the zoo and I would go with him to the elephant house, and he would also always tell these like really amazing stories about them as animals and how, interesting and smart they are, and some amazing things. And then also the city is known, and that is the story that my grandaunt and my mom always told me. My mom was born there too, is because they had, I don't even know what they call it in English, but it's like a monorail. I think it's called monorail, where the car is in the sky, basically. And in 1920 or 1930, they had like a circus there, and it's a horrible story, but as a kid you find that good. And they did these like advertisement for the zoo, and they decided it would be a great idea to have this little elephant, the baby elephant, in the car, in the monorail car. But he fell out of it into the river, but he survived. So there's actually a postcard that is still around, or maybe even a photo where you just see the shadow, but there's also a postcard. So they always talk about that elephant that fell out of the car and then fell into the river. So I have this huge thing about elephants, okay? Long story short, shouldn't be about me, but what's your story with elephants? Because you did the stamp and you did you love those yellow elephants. Is there like a story that connects you to that, or something just loving those animals?
So my mother, I guess when we lived in Japan, I'm not sure if it was in Japan or we moved here to Maryland, but she took a ceramics class and she made 2 elephants, but they were piggy banks. And, we would fill them up with change and empty them when we needed, just for spending money as kids. But she made 2 of them, and they were like a fixture, in our family. And I actually have one of them on my shelf right now. So that's my connection to the elephant. I just love the way, because I've got several, not only the one that she made, but several that I bought from different places. And when I found these, I was just like...
So you're collecting elephants too?
Yes.
Me too.
Absolutely. Another thing we have in common.
I know, it's like unbearable almost. See, this is what I mean. Like you're talking and you're talking about, you're learning these stories, and you're like, wow, like, it's like these little things. Or like, one of my first stencil was an elephant stencil because of that. And like my friends, whenever they see like a special elephant, they bring me one. and you're like, there's your elephant, you know. I'm like, so that's funny.
Yeah, my friends did it too. They bought me elephants when they go on a trip to like India or whatever, and they'll bring me back like an elephant. Yeah, same story.
So, Sarah, where can people find you online? Not your physical address, as Seth was asking me.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give you my address. Well, you have it, but I wasn't going to share with the rest of the world.
So where can they find you and your wonderful work online?
Well, my website is I am Sarah Matthews, Sarah with an H, Matthews.com. I am on Instagram at I am Sarah Matthews. And I also have a page dedicated to artist books, and that's maryroots.com. So MARYRUTHS.com. And that's it.
Yeah, and if you want to know the story behind that artist book page, you should watch our interview on IGTV. It's in both of our feeds, so check it out on Sarah's feed, where she talks about the book and the significance of it, because it's her grandmother's name, and she left some very beautiful, like, let's just check it out. No, that's it. So I'm super right, exactly. You gotta go. So please sign up for Creative Jumpstart 21. I know that Sarah's gonna send in an amazing video. I'm so excited to have her. And please use her affiliate link, which you will find when she posts this interview on her social media, or whenever she posts anything about Creative Jumpstart on her social media outlets. Use that link, because that gives her a bigger piece of the pie, and we creatives and artists can really use that nowadays. So I hope you will join us.
Yes, please.
So thank you. Can't wait to see you.
Thank you for having me.